Good afternoon, dear students. So now hereby I will be dealing with the text, and I will be dealing from the portion where I left in my previous class. So right now I will be starting from this line. See, it is written, scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Okay, 1.4. Now, dear students, if you Google it, you might find that the number will alter or it will change. The statistics might change, but we will be following the NCERT one. Okay, and we will be memorizing this one only, because remember, this article was written around 1994, and this is 2021. So obviously the statistical figures, okay, that might vary, but definitely the concept is very much relevant even now also. Cataloged, you should know the meaning of cataloged. Cataloged means categorized. Okay, that is the meaning of the term cataloged. Okay, so is the screen visible to both of you? Can you see the screen, Angel?
Yes, sir.
And okay, both of you can see, no? Okay, fine. Estimates may vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Now there are many other living species who are not yet been discovered. Okay, so they are waiting for our discovery. Okay, their presence has been identified, but no biological nomenclature, no biological identity has been given. Okay, see, estimates may vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about, please underline if you have the text, 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. There are almost 3 to 100 million other living species. Those species still languish in darkness, in ignominious darkness, because they are still waiting for a proper biological identity. They are still waiting for a biological nomenclature. Now I am moving on a bit down. See what is written. One of the early international commissions, okay, which dealt with the question of ecology and environment was the Branded Commission. Very, very important. Okay, the Branded Commission. This commission was set up, okay, to look after globally, okay, to look after the environment and ecology. Okay, the name of the commission was Branded Commission, and which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members. So one Indian was there as a member, very renowned Indian by the name of Mr. L.K. Jha. He was also a part of the Branded Commission. He was actually a member of the Branded Commission. Now, as I told you, this commission looks after the ecology and environmental issues. So the first branded report, okay, obviously they have given a report. The report they had given, it was itself very, very argumentative and debatable one, and it was very relevant, because till now we are facing the similar problems. See what is being written in the report. Are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment? That means very directly the Branded Commission did a lot of survey related with environment and ecology on a world basis. So finally they came to the conclusion that what are we going to leave for our successors? Okay, what are we going to leave for our future generation, or what are we going to leave for our upcoming generation? Are we going to leave for them a scorched planet? Are we going to leave for them rugged landscapes? And obviously, are we going to leave for them ailing environment? Because the way human beings recklessly used to exploit and plunder the world of nature, so ultimately it will lead to that. That was what the Branded Commission was very much aware to make it realized to everyone, okay, which was itself very argumentative and debatable in itself. Now we will get to know about a gentleman by the name of Lester Brown. And Lester Brown has written one thoughtful book. The name of the book, kindly you all underline it, The Global Economic Prospect. Important for your multiple choice questions, important for your subjective and objective, because the principal 4 biological systems are very, very important. Okay, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are 4: fisheries, forests, grasslands and croplands. These are the 4 important biological systems. Okay, fisheries, forest, grasslands and croplands. Now if overuse of any one of these biological system take place, then it affect the other biological systems also side by side, and obviously it tilts the global environmental base also. So according to Mr. Lester Brown, okay, the Earth's principal biological systems are divided into 4 categories. And what are those 4 categories? Fisheries, forest, grasslands and croplands. And they form the foundation of the global economic system. Now, in addition to supplying our food, these 4 systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industry, except minerals and petroleum derived synthesis. Now except minerals and petroleum derived synthesis, they virtually provide all the raw materials for industry. Now in large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level. Now overuse is going on rapidly, it is going on in many parts of the world. Unsustainable means when we are crossing the limit of utilizing the natural resources. That point is known as unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. Now impaired means we can say collapsed. Ultimately when we use it crossing the limit, ultimately productivity gets collapsed. Okay, now when this actually happens, fisheries they collapse, forest they disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands and croplands they deteriorate. So these are some of the important things that happens. Okay, fisheries they collapse, forest disappear, grasslands are actually converted into barren wastelands as we know, and croplands deteriorate. As I told you, if we overuse any of the one of the biological systems, it actually provides harm to the other systems also. It actually affects the other systems also, and as a result what happens? Fisheries collapse, forests they disappear, grasslands are ultimately converted into barren wastelands and croplands they deteriorate. Okay, we live in a protein conscious and protein hungry world. Okay, and obviously in a protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing is common every day. Okay, overfishing is something that is common every day. In poor countries, local forests are being decimated in order to procure firewood for cooking. So obviously in poor countries, local forests are being decimated. Decimated means what? Any one of you can say what is the meaning of the term decimated? Decimated means cut off. Okay, local forests are being decimated. Why? In order to procure firewood for cooking, and that is the reason the demand of firewood increased to a great extent. In some places firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now cost more than what goes inside it. That means the cooked items, in comparison to the cooked items, the cooking ingredients cost much. Okay, that means the value of the cooking ingredients are much more than the cooked items. Okay, that is the meaning of this line, and it's a very, very important line for MCQ. It's a very, very important line for objective and subjective questions also. What goes under the pot now cost more than what goes inside it. That means what you are cooking, the cooked items, in comparison to the cooked item, the cooking ingredients cost more. Since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution. Yes, the tropical forest, in the words of Dr. Myers, is actually the powerhouse of evolution. Okay, but we don't care about the other species. We go on decimating the forest, but we hardly realize that these tropical forest, they are the places where many creatures they exist. Okay, and obviously this is their habitat. The tropical forest is the habitat of many of the creatures, but ultimately what we do, we go on decimating forest in large numbers, and as a result some of the species who actually depends on the tropical forest, they face extinction as a result of its destruction. See, since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. Several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. Okay, now according to Dr. Myers, tropical forest is actually the powerhouse of evolution. But we don't care when we go on decimating forest in large numbers. We don't care about this, because ultimately what is happening, that many of the creatures, their habitat depends on the tropical forest. Now ultimately, after the tropical forest are being decimated or being cut down in large numbers, there are several species that actually face extinction as a result of this. They get extinct as a result of this. Now let me come to the note section. See, I am talking about this Earth's principal biological systems, as we read it right now. Branded commission, as I told you, this commission actually is related with environmental issues. Now it raised a question, and what was the question? Are we to leave our successors a scorched planet or advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment? What are we going to leave for our successors? Are we going to leave for our successors a scorched planet or advancing deserts? Are we going to leave for them ailing environment? Are we going to leave for them impoverished landscapes? What exactly are we going to leave for them? Because it has become a very argumentative and debatable issue. Because why so? Because the way that we are exploiting the natural resources, ultimately a day will come when there will be a total problem in the environment. Ailing environment will prevail, and obviously now we are facing the pandemic. Apart from that, global warming also is playing a very important role in deteriorating the environment. So all these factors are being stated in this particular chapter, but that is the reason it is so much relevant even now also. Then I already talked to you about told you regarding the global economic system. That is that the biological system is divided into 4 important parts. The principal biological system: fisheries, grasslands, croplands and forest and croplands. Now they virtually consist of all the raw materials of industries at present. Now remember one thing, these 4 systems also provide food and raw materials for industries except minerals and synthesis. With these systems becoming unsustainable, fisheries will collapse, the forest will slowly disappear, grasslands will turn into barren wasteland, and croplands will become wards. Now this is something very important. Fisheries will collapse, the forest will also slowly disappear, grasslands will turn into barren wastelands, and croplands will become wards. So tactfully we have to utilize the natural resources. Overuse of any one of the principal biological system might affect the other other parts of the biological system. Like overuse of fishery might affect the grasslands, croplands and also forest. So biodiversity has to be maintained. That is something very important. And another important thing that I told you before I end my class, that one has to be has to be narrated that we are decimating forest in large numbers, obviously in order to procure firewood for cooking, and we don't realize that in comparison with the cooked items, the cooking ingredients cost much. Okay, and obviously another important thing that can be said in this regard, that according to Dr. Myers, the tropical forest is the powerhouse of evolution, but important thing is that we don't realize it when we go on decimating forest, because several creatures or several species face extinction, okay, as a result of its destruction. We have to take care of this, because ultimately we have to maintain a proper biodiversity. Okay, that one we have to maintain, otherwise environment will deteriorate more and more. Okay, so I stop here. I hope whatever I discussed is very much clear to all of you. Okay, see you again in my next class. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone.